The lateral lunge with an overhead reaching toward. Now, a lateral lunge, if this is your first time doing a lateral lunge, this is where you're going to start with both feet together. You're going to step sideways or laterally. And as you step into this side, you're going to flex into the ankle, into the knee, into the hip, load your body weight onto this leg, and then reverse directions by pushing off the ground and coming back to center. The other leg, meanwhile, as you drift away and lunge from it, will have the foot flattened, pointing straight ahead. The knee will be extended, and the hip will be abducting, meaning the leg will stay where it is, and the pelvis is going to move away from that position, and then drive back on top of it. So the leg itself is kind of like a tree falling in the forest. It stays straight and merely just drives off to the side because everything is moving away from it. Now with the overhead reach toward, we're going to use this wooden dowel, and the dowel doesn't weigh very much. In fact, that's the reason why we're using it. Over time, you may want to try and use a slightly weighted bar. I wouldn't expect to start with an Olympic bar that weighs almost 50 pounds. That may be a little bit too big of a jump from nothing to 50 pounds. Maybe a slight weighted dumbbell in both hands holding onto the ends. In this particular case, we're just using the wooden dowel. So the arms are extended fully overhead to begin with. So making sure that those arms are really straight at the elbow as best you can get them, and that the dowel is pulled overhead. Now as I lunge to my right, I'm going to be reaching toward that direction. So lunging out and leaning over and then coming back up. Now imagine if you had a wall right in front of your body and one right behind you. You don't want to turn or lean into it or come forward. So the movement is going to be as purely lateral as possible without any form of rotation. Arms are going to stay extended overhead, and I'm just simply going to fall onto that leg and drive on back. Now, in order for me to do this and lunge outward and have that lean, certain muscles in my body have to react, obviously. Some of them are going to have to get longer to allow my body to travel in that direction. And not just here, but perhaps in the inner thighs or maybe the back of the thighs, this inner thigh. It occurs all over the body. What we might find is some of those muscles are a little restricted, or the joints themselves may be having a harder time going in that direction. And so what we might see is a break in form. We might see that the shoulders do the reaching rather than the torso leaning over. There's many ways that we can find to cheat. So I say this because it's really essential that you check in with how you're doing this movement. Is the non-lunging leg straight? Are the arms extended? As I lunge over, am I allowing my torso to lunge to the same degree? Does the torso stop, but the arms keep going? I should have the same space in between my arms at this position as I do in this position. One should not be closer to the head or further away. So these are nice indications as to whether or not you're performing the movement properly. It might be a good idea to do it in front of a mirror so you can get some visual feedback, or have a workout partner just watch you with an eagle eye to make sure that what you're doing is really what you need to be doing. And like everything else, you're going to assess, you're going to move, you're going to reassess, is this the right one for you? Check in with your form, because if you don't have the right form and you're starting to compensate, your outcome of that assessment is probably going to be negative. It's probably going to say, I don't like moving with compensation. So the more pure your form can be, most likely the more positive the response is going to be.